If you are here, it means that you hate being envious of other people as much as I do. We know that envy is not productive. It leaves us feeling sorry for ourselves with no practical strategy to improve. But hey, we all do it. In this video, I want to show you 3 questions that I ask myself when I feel envy in order to turn envy, this negative emotion, into productive action steps for myself. And I will use my most recent experience as an example. So last week, Facebook announced that they will be acquiring Scale AI, putting Alexander Huang, the 20-year-old CEO for Scale AI, to be at least a minimum of 2 billion net worth. So the news hit home for 2 reasons. One, Alexander and I are both Asian. Second, he is way younger than I am. So I don't know Alexander, but based on his net worth, it feels like he has achieved way more in. If you are here, it means that you hate being envious of other people as much as I do. We know that envy is not productive. It leaves us feeling sorry for ourselves with no practical strategy to improve. But hey, we all do it. In this video, I want to show you 3 questions that I ask myself when I feel envy in order to turn envy, this negative emotion, into productive action steps for myself. And I will use my most recent experience as an example. So last week, Facebook announced that they will be acquiring Scale AI, putting Alexander Huang, the 20-year-old CEO for Scale AI, to be at least a minimum of 2 billion net worth. So the news hit home for 2 reasons. One, Alexander and I are both Asian. Second, he is way younger than I am. So I don't know Alexander, but based on his net worth, it feels like he has achieved way more in way and in way less time than I have. And this resulted in me feeling envious. So in this context, what are the 3 questions I ask myself in order to get over this feeling? And in the process, finding practical solutions and action steps for myself so I can continue to improve. The first one is, what does he have that I don't? The goal of this question is not to complain that life is not fair. Instead, the goal of this question is to identify the unfair advantages that I am lacking and set the foundation to accumulate unfair advantages of my own. So, in an example, I identify 2 distinct unfair advantages that I lack compared to Alexander. The first one is his technical skills, his tech skills, and his product market fit. So, being the founder and tenured CEO of the tech company, Alexander has the hottest product literally in the entire market, an accurate, scalable, and ever improving artificial intelligence. He can basically name his price because of his product market fit. The second unfair advantage is his maturity at age 28. Objectively speaking, Alexander is way more mature than I was when I was his age. At age 18, he knew that he had a passion for AI. He had the courage to drop out of school to launch Scale AI. He also successfully carried out his mission and expanded his company to meet market demand. In comparison, I was not like this. So growing up, I was taught that being an entrepreneur equals to being unemployed. I was trying to get good grades at school so I could get a good job. It wasn't until that I reached age 40 that I realized that the only way to build wealth is through entrepreneurship. Now that I have identified the 2 specific unfair advantages, I no longer feel envy. I am the result of my actions. I cannot change the past. The only thing that I can do from this point forward is to improve myself. Which brings us to my second question. How can I be more like the person I feel envy towards? The goal of this question is to identify productive action steps, things that are within my own control for self improvement. In the example of Alexander, I identified 2 ways that I can be more like him. The first one is to be at the center of what people want. Now that I know that entrepreneurship is essential in building wealth, I need to identify my own product market fit. Once I understand what people want, I should find a way to deliver the product based on my customers' needs. The second one is to be a true expert. Despite AI's trend, few are true experts when it comes to AI domain. The reason why Alexander's company became the acquisition target is the fact that Scale AI is the best in what they do. I need to become a true expert in my own domain, the area that I choose to pursue, so I can be ready when opportunities come knocking. And when it comes to definition of expert, I define an expert as a person who knows more about one specific narrow subject than almost everybody else, or someone who has spent quite a bit of time solving a particular problem and acquire a lot of experience through trial and error. The third question that I ask myself is, how can I catch up? This question focuses on the broader improvement across actions and mindsets. So when we feel envy, there are two ways to deal with it. One is to ignore it, pretend that the feeling doesn't exist. So when someone mentions the person, shrug it off, or worse, belittle the person you feel envy towards. The other one is to get out of it. So we get out of the feeling of envy by acknowledging the feeling and listing action steps for us to improve. In my case, to catch up with Alexander, I identified three things that I can do. First, learn technology. Spend my time thinking and solving a particular technology problem worth solving. It might take me some time, but I think that I can do it. The second one is that I can stop using money as my primary motivator and instead using my interest as my primary motivator. So it's time to acknowledge that once you follow your interest, the work becomes a play, and you are far more productive than doing a job just for the money. Third, I need to learn from Alexander in making connections. Part of the reason why he succeeded was that he moved to the hub of innovation and surrounded himself with technologists and innovators. Turns out, the people that you choose to surround yourself with are the best predictors of your future behavior. Now that I know that I am interested in building wealth through entrepreneurship, I need to actively seek out and build connections with people who has similar mindsets and similar interests and learn from them. So we all feel envy at some point in our lives. It's essential to pay attention to the feeling, but not let it consume us. If you find this content helpful, check out this video where I leverage Dr. Daniel Amen's book to improve my brain health and become more self aware in the process. Talk to you next time.